Welcome to the WBB Mason Coaches Report, here with Hofstra Women's Basketball head coach Krista Kilburn-Steveskey. Thanks for joining us today, Coach.
Thanks, Amanda.
Pride went 0-2 last week, falling on the road to Charleston before falling at home to Elon on Sunday. Coach, the team came out in the second half on Sunday and played much better, had a much better shooting percentage. What can you take away from that second half on Sunday going into this next week?
I think they handled a lot of that before I even got into the locker room. The voice from Sydney Epps was pretty forward about the effort. It became overwhelming in the first quarter, and it kind of took everybody over and did feel a way to battle back. And so I was really proud of her senior leadership. In the locker room, and they came out and they played with heart, played harder. That it is what it is. Elon's a very good team, but that margin of error for us, we should have been in that position. Again, just some of where we are and how we got to battle through this slump that we're in right now.
Olly On had career high 19 points in that game. Most of those points coming in that second half. She came off the bench for you on Sunday. You've talked a lot about how she's a spark plug for this team. How can she keep that momentum going now that she's kind of found that rhythm again?
We're in that spot. We've been trying to empower some people to look for some separation, to allow us to put people in the right spots, for what they bring to the table. And that really, showed you, that she, maybe a little bit of pressure off and then just trying to focus a little bit more. So I was so proud of her, proud of her result. Unfortunately, no room to celebrate, and she was melancholy obviously about the whole thing. But that's a great role for her. It's a great role for Sid. Those things, they bring life. They help those that we have some stability and we have going on, and they come in and just really give the team a lift. So just trying to find some ways to to do that for us. And she had a great game.
Another bright spot, Ajane Durant recorded her 1,000th career point.
Yeah.
What does it say about her career, especially accomplishing that as a junior?
Well, and that's what I even said. I get the outcome wasn't what she wanted and what we wanted, but you just have to celebrate someone that has this magnitude, this ability, and she's been battling and trying to find her way, since Drexel and even prior games, but prior to that, just to try to find some consistency. And she's bringing consistency. Obviously, consistently rebounds for us, day in, day out. That's just very is on point. But I know she's just trying to do more and more and more. So for her to have that happen, she deserves every bit of it. Yeah, we didn't get the win, but she got to hold her head high and and enjoy that moment.
It was also Alumni Weekend this past weekend. What was it like having some of your former players and some players from even farther back in
well, the timing of that couldn't have been more perfect because Liz O'Brien spoke to the team in the locker room, and I just can't even put into words just how powerful her message was, and people were commenting about it, and obviously you can say, okay, we came out, that doesn't have anything to do with her message. It takes a while to resonate, and they were just bringing what it is to trust the system and to to be part of this team, and that and then the players that played for me that had suffered through a tough season, Candace Blockio, Nikki Williams, Christina Campbell, Sam Brigham, they were all there. They talked to the kids in depth after the game, and so that kind of valuable stuff that we don't get that often as a coach, to sit back and listen. And let these players that came before them, that led that set the tone before them, talk about how to battle your way through, where you are. So it was, despite the, obviously despite the loss, they were all coming up talking about the team and about battling and where we are and how to move forward, and so that part was perfect, and they had a great weekend. They had a great time. They felt special, and that's what we want to do here at Hofstra. We want everybody that played here to feel special. They all had a part. Coming back from someone played in the 60s that was here, all the way to people that graduated in 2010, 11, 12. And what it means to come back. One of the players talked about, Sam Brigham said, I have a dream probably once a month, that I have eligibility, or I have a dream that I'm back on the court. So for them to hear that to the players now that sometimes rush to hurry up and get yourself out of school. Yeah. It's kind of a typical of youth, that you hurry up to try to get somewhere and then you wish you can go back. So it was good message.
This weekend, heading into the second half of conference play now, this weekend is the first conference weekend where you get to play both games at home.
Right.
What's that going to mean for a team that might be a little bit tired from a lot of travel?
Yeah, it was bizarre, how the season went. With that, I think all that stuff is obviously it's part of the grind, and we didn't have classes, which was a good thing. So I think that made that a little less painful. And then obviously not getting the results that we wanted, added to the pain though. But been nice to be here this week, first week of school back, so that sometimes you get that doesn't happen, and that really kind of starts the semester off where you're playing catch up. So I probably can't be more thankful for that. We had I think 8 to 10 players with a 3.0 this past semester. So they'll all be honored Thursday night at 3.0 ceremony. So you're here for your academic reasons here as a student athlete. So just to be able to be back and to be able to focus and try to get our heads back and work our way out of where we are right now.
James Madison, on Friday, you've talked a lot about how you think the margin of the last game was not indicative of that matchup.
Yeah.
What does the team have to do to be competitive Friday night?
I mean, again, a few times of getting overwhelmed in the situation, so I think we need to, to stay a little bit more grounded and don't get overwhelmed, don't necessarily try to play their exact same, tempo. I think we, definitely did that at their place and kind of got caught in the wave of that. Precious is Precious, so she's going to do what she does, but, we have an opportunity now to kind of do things different. You're starting over, even though we'll play William & Mary twice in 1 week, so then, we'll have everybody again for the second time. So, I think it's the turning point right now is, how to prove how we're going to move forward, with the next contest of playing somebody for the second time around. So we have definitely some things moving forward and what we want to do, and, the kids will be ready. They'll be ready. So they just need to really focus on, them. Sometimes you get caught up in the process and the scouts and overwhelming, and you're not caught up in what you're doing and focusing on the court, focusing on the basketball, focusing on what you've done since you're 9 years old, 8 years old. This is the game that you played and that you love, and when you lose that focus and obviously you're not in the present moment and too worried about things that you can't control, you can keep spiraling down. So I think that's been our focus here in the last week.
And finally, you mentioned William & Mary prepared to play them earlier in January.
Right.
With some weather, didn't end up playing them. Now you'll play them twice in 3 days.
Right.
Once here and once at their place. How do you prepare for back-to-back games against the same opponent?
Yeah, interesting. First time for me since I was a high school coach. I know that Ed, the coach at William & Mary, played in the NEC. I think they might have done that a few times in his career. So for us, it's interesting. So, but I know a lot of programs do it, whether it's the Ivies or whether, like I said, the NEC. So, but my first in a while. So, we were very prepared last time Denise King had that scout. We know what they do. They're pretty predictable in what they do. So, we just need to, have a good game on both sides of the floor, defensively as well as offensively here at home, and then, like I said, then be ready to turn right around. So it'll be interesting to see how the players feel about that. I'm part of the players' perspective. Most of them, last year when they were in high school, they did things like that possibly, but some have been pretty far removed from playing someone back-to-back. So at least we're both in the same situation, and one at home, one away, and so it kind of works out evenly.
The Pride is home on Friday night to take on James Madison at 7 p.m. before hosting William & Mary on Sunday at 2 p.m. Pride then heads to William & Mary on Tuesday for a 7 p.m. game. This has been the WB Mason Coaches Report with head coach Krista Kilburn-Steveskey. Thanks for joining us today, Coach.
Thanks, Amanda.